Kevelin, it's so nice to have you here. And so I hope that you can share some insights into, as a superintendent, what are some things that are working? What are some of your challenges? So starting out with like data driven, right? So that's a big one across districts. Describe to me, how is your district? How do you support that data driven mindset with it feeling like data as a flashlight, not as a chancla?
Well, you must, number one, use data for everything. All others must bring God, right? So we use data for all of our work. It drives the work that we do. But not only the quantitative data, but the qualitative data. And when you talk about qualitative data, you have to really have meetings with families and meetings with teachers and scholars. And in Flint, we call all of our students scholars because we speak into their lives of what we want them to be. And so when we talk to them and we meet with them, we want to know what their challenges are. Even the stakeholders and the families that are a part of Flint. Yes, we use quantitative data all day long, but we really want to get down into what is it going to take for you to do better? What is it going to take for us to do better for you? And so when you talk about being data driven, it is truly about data. One of the things we do in Flint is we ensure that we have forums every year. Since I've been superintendent over the last 3 years, our Board of Education has decided that one of the goals is to have forums for all of our schools. So in the last 2 years, we've had over 14 forums with Flint Community Schools. And it has given us a lot of information about what our families wanted to see. Flint Community Schools received over $150 million of ESSER funds from the federal government. And our families wanted to see, through the data talks that we've had, they wanted to see new infrastructure. They wanted to see new furniture, new technology. And we've been able to do that over the last couple of years.
Oh, gosh, you hit on nail on the head as far as mindset, right? How do you describe to me, how do you get everyone on board to help shift the mindset to calling them scholars and helping push that agenda? How do you do that on a big scale?
Well, our theme and vision is re-energizing the pride, renovating the plans, rebuilding the possibilities, and repurposing for a brighter future. We did those 4 R's. We've focused on re-energizing. I am a homegrown Flint Community Schools student, right? I was born and raised here in Flint. And I went to school in Flint Community Schools, and I'm honored to serve, that my board saw fit to allow me to serve. And so re-energizing, just remembering what our school district was like when I was growing up and making sure that we're giving our scholars that opportunity now. Thinking about the needs, Flint dealt with a water crisis. We dealt with the auto industry crisis. And of course, like most of us, we dealt with the COVID crisis, and trying to really give the love and the support and the mindfulness that's needed to catapult our scholars into the future. So it's a lot of hard work that you have to put into this. And that work is not just 8 hours a day. It's when it's needed. And so it's a lot of hard work. Our board has gone through training and has been level 2 certified. And that is the first time in history in Flint Community Schools that we've had a full board that is level 2 certified. And so with that, and the reason I bring that up is, coupled with their training and coupled with my training, we're able to lead this district in a direction with love and mindfulness.
Oh, I love that. And I love that your 4 R's really build clarity around, probably all your decisions are based on your 4 R's, and which I find a lot of times that clarity is missing. Everyone's kind of working on a day-to-day basis, but those 4 R's really give you clarity as far as decision-making moving forward.
Absolutely.
If I was, math is my heart and soul. So if I was a brand new math teacher and I came and said, I would love to work for Flint, what does that look like for me? How do you support? How do I know what I'm supposed to teach?
Absolutely. We focus our attention, and we're working now to focus in on some math curriculum that is designed for project-based learning. One of the things that we have done is we have partnered with our city mayor, who has a financial literacy course that he's brought into Flint Community Schools as an intervention to support real time and real life financial literacy for our scholars. And so, yes, you can teach the book smarts, you can teach algebra, you can teach all of those things, but how many of our children know how to deal with a checking account, know how to deal with our IRAs and to deal with stock market, the taxes, the real things that they're going to have to deal with when they become an adult. And so we have started this financial literacy class, working with the city of Flint, Mayor Sheldon Neely, but not only with the city of Flint, but just with our counselors and our staff. Our teachers work very hard to ensure that they focus in on the math for our scholars. We have a STEM campus, and we have project-based learning, math and arithmetic that we've been working on with our scholars, and we're seeing the results from that.
Oh my gosh. I taught math for 20 years. And so the part that just hit home for me was giving the kids the relevance of the mathematics. Because as a math teacher, Miss Alvarez, why do we have to learn this? Why do we need this? When am I going to use this in life? So really giving them the relevance in the real world, and then putting them in touch with people out in the community, right? To build those relationships. So when they do get out of school, right, they've got some relationships out in the community. We know that math is often the gatekeeper for kids to get into college. What is your stance as far as AI and personalization? I know that's like forward thinking, but how do you imagine that coming in to help kids? You know, I know oftentimes they fail algebra the first time and they don't have anyone at home that can help them. How can you see AI and personalization helping get more kids college ready?
Do you remember when computers came into education and there was a pushback, right? But computers have taken over education. We have to embrace AI the same way. There is no reason for us not to push our scholars into AI, not to cheat, but looking at it in a way that here's the answer, but let's talk about how to get to the answer, right? How do we get our scholars to think about the process into getting to the answer? And when many times we have focused our attention on, how did you get that answer? Or you cheated and you used AI and AI told you how to do it. No. Use AI in the classroom to support steps 1 through 5, right? So that scholars can use it in a way that is going to help them think instead of help them to cheat. And so we have embraced AI in Flint Community Schools with our programs and platforms for our scholars to use. Every one of our scholars has it's called 2-to-1. They have a computer at school and they have a computer at home. And every one of our scholars have access to iPads. And we believe that this technology is important, even in math. In our math programs, we use Cool Math. We use so many math programs and interventions because this is just the age we're in. So embrace it.
Yes.
And, you know, math is the gateway to college, because when you talk about the financial literacy and you talk about what kids need to know as it pertains to the numbers and understand data for themselves, if you don't know it, how are you going to make decisions? Literacy is important, right? Being able to read is important, but math is going to get you to that next level.
Right. You hit on a point that I see often as I travel across the United States, where you spend all this time building relationships with kids, and then you say you cheated, you used AI, and maybe they didn't. So how do you handle something like that? How do you help your teachers embrace? Because a lot are afraid of AI, or they're AI detectors, and it's like, no, that's not the path we want to go on. How did you help them embrace it rather than be afraid or go the cheating route, which is a scary thought for me?
Intentional interruption, and that leads me to say professional development. You have to intentionally interrupt what's going on by giving teachers professional development on purpose to show them how to use AI. Just do it, right? Nike, just do it. Because if you don't do it, then you're going to have behavior referrals because this student cheated, or you're going to have, but if teachers can see the light, a lot of teachers don't embrace it because they don't know about it.
That's true.
Because of ignorance, and ignorance is not a bad word. It's just they don't know about it. And it's our job as leaders to give them the professional development and the resources for them to know, and then give them the opportunity to build lessons that include AI instead of rejecting it.
Good point. Good point. What's one of the things you're most proud of in your superintendency? What is something that you would say to like a new superintendent to help kick them off on the right foot? Like lesson learned, what would be the one thing you would put in place to say this was a game changer?
I would say that the game changer would be to have patience. God bless me with patience. And when you're working with a board of education and you're working with teachers that have not received the type of salaries that they have wished for, you have to have patience and you have to listen. I would tell any superintendent that's just starting out, be willing to listen, be willing to understand that they're not talking at you, they're talking to you. Don't take it personal, because many of the people that you are working with as colleagues or employees or even board members, they all have the weight of the district as well. And so they all come in with their different ideologies and what has happened to them in the past. You may have come in as a superintendent to try to fix it. So you have to be able to listen, have patience, and just know it's going to be all right. Don't take it personal. So that's what I would say. Don't take it personal and keep your eyes on the prize. Whatever you came in there to do, keep your eyes on the prize. Be able to get your board to a place where you're working together and they can see the vision, because the board wants to see vision from the superintendent as well. And if you have vision, they will follow the vision if they can see it. And so be patient, slow down. It's going to be all right. Kendrick Lamar said, be humble, sit down. And if you do that, things will work out for you.
Oh, definitely. And that listening piece, listening from a place of they're describing to you systems challenges. They're not attacking you as a person. They're just telling you from their perspective.
That's right.
Whatever they're telling you from their shoes is true. And they're just sharing with you things that are, I find often there's so much, you get bombarded so much that sometimes people plug their ears because they just feel like instead of sitting in a space of truly listening without feeling attacked and just listen to what are those systems challenges that they're describing. That's a beautiful thing.
I read a book by Patrick Lencioni that I live by. It's called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. And that book really showed what a dysfunctional team can look like, but it also gave how you can come out of that dysfunction. And I have done professional development with Flint Community Schools around that work and embracing to trust and being vulnerable enough to gain that trust from others. And so with that and building relational capacity with not only board members, but the staff and, the community, being out in the community all the time, you have to, the major work is building that community relationship, that board relationship, and having a really good team that can help you manage the district on a day-to-day. And when you do that, I think that you're going to start seeing the type of success that any superintendent would want to see. But that's really what we are embracing in Flint Community Schools. We have a long way to go. We're not where we want to be by far, but we're getting there.
With that, if you had one wish, and you can't wish for more wishes. If you had one wish, what would be your one wish right now based on your reflecting of this last year, moving forward? What would be your one wish?
My one wish would be that the federal government would support us in a way that we can pay our staff the wages that they deserve. That is my one wish. If I could do that, I believe that Flint Community Schools can be catapulted to a place that we've never been at before. I truly believe in our staff. I truly believe in the work and the vision that we have set forth. And to be able to pay teachers that work with children every day, principals, paraprofessionals, even down to my maintenance team that work with students every day. Not only there's Maslow's hierarchy, right, where you talk about students need love first. And until they get food in their body and in their system first, before you get to educating them, they have other issues. And teachers are the ones that help them get through those issues. Principals and paraprofessionals and your lunch staff, your family coordinators, all of those folks are underpaid. And we need help in a district where we're surrounded around a lot of charter schools and private schools in the inner city, where we have old infrastructure, where we had a district of 48,000 kids. We're down to 3,000 kids because of the auto crisis and the water crisis and COVID, and when jobs leave your community, so does families. And so my one wish would be that the federal government, the state government could supply more funding so that we can pay teachers what they rightfully deserve.
Yeah, because their cup needs to be full. They need to be able to take care of their families. They need to be able to take care of themselves, because we're asking them to take care of the future. Absolutely. With our children. And that is wonderful. Is there anything you'd like to share that I didn't think to ask? I'd
just like to share that Flint Community Schools is we're on the cutting edge. We have not been able to build a new school in our district since 1953. 1973, was our last school built. So over 50 years. And right now we are about to embark upon building a state-of-the-art high school for Flint community. And we're excited about it. We are working with our community partners, the Center of Excellence in Education, who does community engagement work, the Mott Foundation, the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation, who's willing to give us up to $75 million to build that school, because they believe in Flint Community Schools and doing what's right for children. We have so many partners that's coming together with Flint. And I just like to say, we're about to do something big for our community. It hasn't been done. And we're excited that we're a part of it. Homegrown, being able to give back to this district that raised me means more to me than anything in the world. I wouldn't want to do anything else but what I'm doing right now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, how did this funding come about? Because you've laid out the vision. So met with communities, listened. And so lots of places are often looking for outside funding to help them build their dreams. How did some of those things come about?
So the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation has been in the Flint community for years. They're founded in Flint, and their CEO and president right now is Ridgeway White, who is the grandson of Charles Stewart Mott. And he's been trying to work with and build up Flint community for a very long time. And we've had conversations, and he wants to see something better for Flint. And when he came to us about being able to give a grant to Flint Community Schools, we jumped on it. Sure. And we worked with our board. And when our board was able to come together to work with me to get that done, we were able to work out some conversations. Now we're in the conversations. We haven't completed the proposal, but the Mott Foundation, and there is a consolidated infrastructure grant with Michigan Department of Education. And the rest of the funds, we're hoping to come from that. We're looking pretty good. We're working with Dr. Michael Rice, who is our state superintendent, to get those funds. So we have started schematic design. We're meeting with our community coming up here soon. And we're looking forward to this being something that happens over the next 2 to 3 years. I'm
so excited to follow this journey. So it was so nice to meet you. And thank you for sharing.
Follow up with us.
Yes, I definitely will.
Look us up. We're going to talk again and to bring the nation into this conversation about what we're doing in Flint Community Schools. Early childhood, we have a campus that we just put $40 million into, Brownell Homes campus. It's our only STEM campus in the area. And we have 6-week-old to 8th grade campus. Wow. And so it's the only one in our area. So I have some things that's going on in Flint I would love to make sure the nation knows about. So let us know. We'll communicate with you often and go from there.
Oh, it's such a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You too.
All right.